Hi folks, Will at LR Workshop. Do you recognise what this is? Looks like a 300 TDI, but it's not. This is a 2.8 TGV, or rather what's known as a 2.8 TGV. I think the official name you would call it an MWM International 2.8 litre HS engine. And also, if you drove a Ford Ranger in South America, you'd call it the Power Stroke engine. Suffice to say that Land Rover got their 300 TDIs in later years. They got them made in Brazil and Argentina by MWM International, and they then took the design and adapted it a bit by giving it an extra 300 cc's of cubic capacity to produce this little beauty. So in this video, what I'm going to do, because I know these things, you can't actually buy these new anymore, and they very rarely come up second hand, but it's an amazing engine actually. I'm just going to walk you around the engine bay and just show you kind of what the differences are and just some interesting things you might not know about this engine. Okay, so let's get started. I guess the first obvious thing to see is that the rocker cover is quite different. It's got this bulge on the top here. Looks a bit different, and the inlet manifold comes off at a different angle. By and large, it's very similar. A lot of the spares are the same. And that's one of the benefits of this engine. You get a more powerful engine that's not electronically controlled. It's probably one of the better engines you can get in a Defender that doesn't have electronic control. And you have all the spares for the 300 TDI available, so that's a big benefit as well. There are a few things unique to this. So naturally, the cylinder block will be bored out. Conrods, I think, are a bit shorter. The crank's a bit different, and then the cylinder head, it's got some extra cooling ways in it, so then the head gasket will be different as well, supposedly. I guess the main difference you'll see here is that the inlet, the air intake comes around the side here and bolts on to a humongous turbo down here, so that the inlet actually comes in the front and then goes out the exhaust at the back. There are two versions of this, or were two versions of this engine. There's a wastegate version and a variable nozzle turbo. And if I'm honest, I haven't found out yet which one this is. I guess I'd have to unbolt the air intake to see which version it is. But they've got different power outputs. Another kind of difference down here is this alternator is unique to this engine, and it runs the vacuum pump off the back of it. So the 300 TDI, the vacuum pump's down on the other side of the block. This one's on the back here, and it's a bit of a downside of this engine because this alternator is about 500 quid, and you don't find them second hand. So that's a bit of a downer actually. That's probably the most expensive part I've found you would need to buy that's unique to this engine. So all the hose setup is the same along the top. The belts are the same along here. Thermostat's the same. That kind of stuff. We have got this extra. So this is where the breather pipe goes from the air intake on a 300 TDI. Goes around the back, and on here, this one comes over the top to go into the cyclone breather unit there. The injection pump is it's actually mounted vertically. It's the same Bosch VE. I'm not sure if there's any extra tweaking going on inside of it, but it's mounted vertically instead of off at an angle like on the 300 TDI. And down here by the oil filter, you see the oil filter out is completely different. On the 300 TDI, it runs down vertically down here. This one's off at the side here, and it's mounted where the vacuum pump would be. And it's at an angle more similar to what the 200 TDI is like. So it means that when you take the oil canister off, it's just going to leak out all over the prop shaft there. Another key difference is that the oil cooler is run directly from coolant into this manifold kind of part of the engine here. So you see, takes a T-piece off from this pipe to the header tank that runs down in there, and then which also runs along here. So you've got some extra coolant pipes. They would naturally run into here in the radiator, but you see these have been blocked off. This is a standard 300 TDI radiator that's been blocked off. And that is about the main differences, really. The rest of it is very common.
Just going to pause the video here. This is Will in the future in the edit suite. One thing I forgot to mention is the dipstick's a completely different place. It's actually on the left hand side as we look at the engine.
This one may look a bit different because it's got air conditioning here and it's left hand drive. So there's a few things that are in different places you might expect on a right hand drive. But that's just down to it being left hand drive and not the fact that this engine is different. But as I say, yeah, lots of the spares are common. So if you come across one of these engines and you're thinking about a power upgrade and over your 300 TDI and you don't want to go electronically controlled, then this is an excellent option. It's got a lot of low down grunt. The 300 TDI in standard form, max torque, comes on about 1800 RPM. This one comes up at 1400 RPM. I put the torque curve on the screen, and then also the 300 TDI torque curve. There's quite a bit of difference there, and you can feel it. This thing is amazing at pulling up hills from low revs. The 300 TDI struggles a bit, particularly if you've got a load on, but this thing's great. And if you've got a 2.8 TGV and you're trying to find the engine number on a 300 TDI, it's normally down here, but actually these are down here on the engine block. Let's see if we can see it in here. There it is. So if you can just see through there, it's painted white. That's where you find it. It's a bit difficult to read. So that was the 2.8 TGV. Leave a comment below if you've got any questions about this engine. I'll try and answer based on my limited knowledge, but I have done some research on these because I own one. Also in the description, there's a link to my website where there's more information hosted about this engine, like workshop manuals and that kind of stuff. And don't forget to subscribe because I produce Land Rover content, and if you're here, you're probably interested in Land Rovers. So I may post a video in the future that you're also interested in. And leave a comment, hit the thumbs up. Bye for now.